There are moments when the atmosphere around you shifts quietly without warning. Nothing appears wrong on the surface, yet something feels unsettled beneath it. Your peace feels interrupted, your thoughts grow heavier, and your progress seems to slow without explanation. These moments are not imagined. They are the subtle signs of pressure forming beneath the surface, asking to be acknowledged. Some opposition does not announce itself. It does not arrive with noise or confrontation. It moves quietly through hesitation, through confusion, through a weight that cannot easily be named. And when you begin to sense it, that awareness itself becomes important. It is not fear drawing your attention. It is clarity beginning to rise. This is not a moment for panic or struggle. It is a moment for recognition. What works in silence loses its power when it is seen. What lingers in the background weakens when it is brought into awareness. The moment you become still enough to notice, something shifts. You are no longer being moved. You are becoming grounded. As you listen, allow your breath to slow. Let your thoughts settle naturally. You are not here by chance. You are here because something within you understands that it is time to stand steady, to stop carrying what was never meant to stay with you, and to let truth take its rightful place. If this resonates with you, take a moment to acknowledge it. Leave a comment and say, "I stand in clarity." And if this moment speaks to you, take a moment to like and subscribe so you can return whenever you need grounding, awareness, and calm direction. Lord, I enter this moment with quiet resolve, not in haste, not in fear, but with a steady awareness that nothing formed in secrecy can stand against what is grounded in clarity. I move without agitation, aware of my surroundings, yet undisturbed by them. I recognize the presence of unseen forces that attempt to influence, distract, or interfere, and I acknowledge them without granting authority. I stand rooted in understanding, fully aware of what surrounds me, and fully aware of who I am. I speak now to every hidden intention shaped in silence, every plan formed in shadows, every effort designed to shift my course without my consent. I do not confront these forces with resistance, but with awareness. I do not argue with what seeks control. I simply withdraw my energy from it. What was meant to unsettle me finds no place to rest. I remain steady, untouched, and unmoved. I recognize that some disruptions arrive quietly, wearing the appearance of confusion, doubt, or hesitation. I observe them without absorbing them. I no longer mistake noise for truth or urgency for importance. I choose stillness over reaction, discernment over impulse. In this space, clarity rises naturally. I acknowledge that not every obstacle appears as opposition. Some present themselves as delays, distractions, or misplaced priorities. I see them clearly now. I do not struggle against them. I step around them, leaving no trace of frustration or resistance behind. My movement is calm, deliberate, and free of urgency. I speak calmly to every influence that sought to interfere with my direction. Your presence is recognized, and your power is released. You do not govern my path. I'm not bound by hidden arrangements or unseen pressures. I walk forward, without carrying what was never mine to bear. I recognize patterns that once repeated themselves quietly, convincing me they were permanent. I now see them as temporary echoes, losing strength with every moment of awareness. I do not fight them. I allow them to dissolve through understanding. I remain grounded as they fade. I release myself from the need to react to every disturbance. I choose steadiness over response. I choose composure over urgency. I allow clarity to lead, knowing that clarity requires no force. It simply is. I acknowledge that clarity itself becomes a form of protection. When the mind is settled, confusion cannot take root. When awareness is present, intrusion finds no entry. I remain attentive, not tense, present, not guarded. I observe how peace begins to fill the space once occupied by resistance. The mind grows quiet, not empty, but balanced. I feel no need to defend, explain, or justify. I exist in calm certainty. I recognize that some pressures were never meant to be confronted, only understood. Once understood, they lose their hold. I step beyond them without conflict or delay. I move forward now with steady assurance. Nothing pulls at me from behind. Nothing rushes me from ahead. I walk in measured awareness, free from disturbance, grounded in clarity, and aligned with calm purpose. I continue forward with a deeper sense of steadiness, aware that movement does not require force to be effective. What guides me now is not urgency, but alignment. I am no longer driven by reaction, but by quiet understanding. I move without resistance, allowing each step to unfold naturally without pressure or strain. I recognize that clarity does not come from effort, but from allowing things to settle into their proper place. When the inner space is ordered, nothing external can disturb it. I allow this order to remain undisturbed. I do not rush outcomes or anticipate obstacles. I remain present, letting each moment reveal itself without interference. I notice how calm sharpens perception. Details become clear without effort. I'm able to discern what requires attention and what does not. I conserve my energy, directing it only toward what supports balance and stability. There is no need to engage with what distracts or drains. I acknowledge that silence often carries more strength than response. In that silence, understanding forms without pressure. I do not fill space unnecessarily. I allow stillness to speak in its own quiet way, trusting its clarity. I remain aware that progress often moves quietly. It does not announce itself or seek validation. It simply unfolds. I honor this quiet movement, knowing that its consistency holds more power than urgency ever could. I release any lingering attachment to what no longer serves me. Past no longer dictates my direction. I move forward without carrying weight that does not belong to me. My steps are light, guided by intention rather than habit. I understand that strength does not need to assert itself. It exists naturally within steadiness and restraint. I embody this balance without effort. It is no longer something I strive for, but something I inhabit. I recognize that clarity simplifies. As it deepens, complexity falls away. I am no longer pulled in multiple directions. I move with purpose, unburdened by excess thought or distraction. I acknowledge the quiet confidence that now guides me. It does not demand attention or affirmation. It simply remains consistent and calm. I trust it fully. I continue forward with even rhythm, neither hurried nor hesitant. My direction is clear, my pace unforced. I move with composure, grounded in calm understanding, allowing each moment to unfold naturally. I move forward with a steadiness that no longer needs reinforcement. What once required effort now flows with ease. I am not pushing against resistance. I am moving in harmony. Each step is deliberate, balanced, and assured. I recognize that clarity deepens when I stop questioning what already feels settled. I do not revisit resolved thoughts or reopen closed doors. I allow understanding to remain where it belongs, undisturbed. I observe how awareness sharpens when there is no tension. I notice without strain, remain present without effort, and allow insight to emerge on its own. This calm attentiveness sustains me. I release the urge to control outcomes. I no longer measure progress through visible change. I trust the steady alignment taking place beneath the surface. I accept that growth often unfolds quietly. I do not require signs or confirmation. I move forward with trust in the unseen process. I stay attentive without being guarded. I remain open without being exposed. This balance allows me to move freely, unburdened by fear or expectation. I continue with measured rhythm, grounded and composed. Nothing pulls me forward or holds me back. I move in harmony with my own pace. I acknowledge that clarity does not need reinforcement. It remains constant when allowed to exist without interference. I let it guide me naturally. I move onward with ease, settled in awareness, carrying nothing unnecessary. My path is clear, my steps are steady, and my presence is calm. I move forward with a quiet confidence that no longer seeks reassurance. There is no urgency in my movement, only alignment. I walk without resistance, trusting the steadiness that guides me. I notice how stillness has become familiar rather than empty. It offers depth rather than silence. I rest within it comfortably, without the need to fill space or seek validation. I recognize that strength does not announce itself. It reveals itself through consistency and calm. I embody that steadiness without effort. I allow understanding to replace uncertainty. I do not rush clarity, I allow it to surface naturally. I remain patient with the process unfolding within me. I observe how awareness deepens when I stop forcing direction. I am present without pressure, attentive without tension. I move forward with quiet assurance. I accept that balance does not require maintenance through struggle. It exists naturally when resistance fades. I trust this equilibrium to hold me steady. I continue forward with a composed rhythm, neither accelerating nor slowing. I remain centered, grounded, and at ease. I move with calm intention, guided by steady awareness. Nothing pulls me off course. Nothing rushes me ahead. I remain settled, clear, and aligned. I continue with this sense of equilibrium, knowing it does not need protection or defense. It simply is. I move forward with quiet confidence, grounded in presence, free of strain, and steady in purpose. I continue forward with a calm that no longer seeks explanation. It is not something I carry deliberately. It simply exists within me, steady and present. I do not question it or attempt to define it. I allow it to move with me, shaping each moment without effort. There is no urgency, no resistance, only a quiet awareness that settles naturally into place. I notice how my awareness now rests gently in the present. Nothing pulls me ahead and nothing tugs me backward. I am here, fully, without strain. My attention does not scatter or rush. It remains steady, allowing each moment to unfold at its own pace. I recognize that steadiness does not come from control, but from acceptance. I no longer feel the need to anticipate or defend. I allow what arises to appear, and what passes to pass. In this openness, balance maintains itself without effort. I observe how my thoughts move more slowly, no longer demanding immediate action or response. They pass through with ease, leaving clarity behind. There is no tension in this movement, only a quiet rhythm that feels natural and unforced. I acknowledge that I no longer need to name or analyze everything I experience. Understanding forms without effort. Awareness settles into place without instruction. I allow this process to unfold without interference. I remain attentive without strain, present without pressure. I do not chase clarity, it remains with me naturally. I notice how ease has replaced urgency and how steadiness has replaced uncertainty. I recognize that this state does not depend on silence or isolation. It remains even as the world moves around me. I carry it within, unaffected by change or motion. I continue forward, not seeking direction, but trusting alignment. Each step feels balanced, guided by a quiet sense of knowing. I move without hesitation, without resistance. I remain grounded in this awareness, understanding that it does not require effort to sustain. It holds itself, steady and constant. I continue onward with a calm that no longer needs explanation. There is nothing to prove, nothing to chase. I move with ease, anchored in a quiet certainty that does not waver. I move forward with an ease that asks nothing of me. There is no effort in my motion, no tension in my awareness. I am present without striving, calm without intention. I notice how this stillness has become familiar, not empty but full. It carries a quiet assurance that does not demand attention. I allow it to remain, unforced and natural. I recognize that clarity no longer arrives in bursts, but exists as a steady undercurrent. It supports me without calling attention to itself. I trust it completely. I remain open without being vulnerable, steady without being rigid. I do not need to defend or explain what I feel. I simply allow it to be. I move through each moment with gentle certainty. There is no urgency, no delay, only a smooth continuation from one breath to the next. I understand now that balance does not require constant adjustment. It exists when resistance falls away. I rest within that balance, untroubled and present. I continue forward in this state of ease, grounded and attentive, guided by a calm that requires no effort to maintain. I arrive at a place of quiet completion, not as an ending, but as a settling. There is no sense of finality, only a gentle pause that feels complete in itself. I acknowledge that this steadiness was always available. It did not need to be created or earned. It simply waited to be noticed. I allow this calm to remain with me, unforced and unclaimed. It accompanies me naturally without demand or expectation. I move onward with clarity and ease, carrying nothing unnecessary, holding nothing tightly. I remain present, balanced, and at rest within myself. As this moment comes to a close, allow the calm you've settled into to remain with you. Let it move with you gently, without effort or strain. There is nothing more to do, and nothing more to prove. What you have reached is already enough. If this space brought you a sense of grounding or clarity, carry it with you into the rest of your day. Return to it whenever you need stillness or reassurance. And if you feel drawn to continue this journey, stay connected. Return again when you're ready, and allow this calm to meet you once more. Amen.